ti elevate. Orí mi kò lè hibernate. Àwọn bá.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Two Brothers channel. I'm one brother.
And I'm the second brother. Welcome, everybody.
And I'm Rika. Welcome back, everyone.
Hey. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Today, we're going to be looking at this topic. And this topic is, we're going to call this the power of rewarding yourself.
Powerful topic. Very powerful topic, sir.
The power of rewarding who? Rewarding yourself. You see, what we don't know is that, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have a relationship with ourselves. A lot of people neglect that relationship. All right. But before I go before I go further and too deep, let me hand it over to Mr. Clay.
Yeah, wow. This is one of my favorite ones. Because, you find that there's so many things we're saying for you to do: take responsibility, take charge, grow, read. There's so many things that you might, in the beginning stages, might not feel like fun. So you need to build some kind of relationship between your goal setting and your reward system. Now, it doesn't have to be, like everything, you start small. So you don't have to, your reward has to be in line with the activities you're doing. And that's one thing that they've always, we've always been told, that don't blow your reward out of all proportion. So it's just like, okay, let's say you read half an hour for today. That doesn't mean that you qualify to, go on a whole expensive paid trip anywhere in the world. It needs to be in correlation to each other. Yeah. So now when I say an expensive trip all over the world, all expenses paid trip, that could be a reward that salespeople are giving, for reaching a particular target. Yeah. Similarly, as they are incentivized to hit targets, you can incentivize yourself on a personal level as well. And it could start by just having a biscuit, an ice cream. You could start by just saying, okay, today I'm going to have a glass of wine after this, and these things are things that you know yourself, which is where Mr. Phil started with. You have to have a relationship with yourself. You know what motivates you. You know what will get you excited. So be responsible with it. And if you do it right, the bigger the work and the action and the victory, the bigger the reward that will come along with it. So it's something that you have to gauge for yourself and put in plan and make sure that you're excited and fired up to get things going. So back to you, Mr. Phil.
Yeah, again, it's the power of rewarding yourself. There's some tasks that even at this stage, I don't want to do, and maybe, there's maybe some outstanding paperwork I need to file with the company house. Maybe there's some, company asking me to send them this and send them that, fill this form and whatever. And sometimes I just, like Mr. Kennedy says, they pile up there and I'm saying, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to do these things. I'm going to clear them out of the way. However, I'm going to reward myself with an ice cream. And my brand that I like is Ben and Jerry. Ben and Jerry's fish food. And I make sure I do it. You want to see me when I'm having that ice cream, man. I'm having that ice cream with gusto. Because I know I did that work to get this ice cream. So Mr. Clay said it earlier on, like it's like playing tricks on yourself to get you to do some players. So there's some fun and games you can play with yourself like that. But what is important, before I go into what is important, actually, let me bring Rika in. Rika.
Yeah, so like that always says, you got to pay the price to get the prize. And, you know, with each price that you're paying, in turn comes um, its own reward, you know? So the greater price you pay, the greater reward that you get, and the greater satisfaction, because that's also a reward if we don't, you know, forget that. So in terms of like the little things, so even me, sometimes I'm like, okay, let me do everything that I need first before I then settle down and I'm able to relax. Because you know that once you've got everything out of the way, you're not going to have anything lingering on your back, or you thinking in the back of your mind, oh, but I still got to do this, you know. Oh, one good example for me is when I'm cooking and cleaning. So like when I'm cooking, my dad taught me to clean as you go along. At first it was very tedious, like, oh, can't I just wash everything when I'm ready or when I'm finished eating? But by the time you're finished eating, you've collected itis, so you're half asleep, you know. So my dad taught me that you go along and you clean as you're going along. So once you've used something, you clean it straight away. And like at the end of your cooking, once you've served your meal and you've eaten your meal, all that's left to wash is your plate. So, you know, you reap the benefit of being able to actually relax and enjoy the food that you made and, you know, relax after having a nice meal. So, yeah, back to you.
That is very interesting, actually, that you said that and you used that, because today, interestingly, believe it or not, Rika made us roast dinner. So we had steak, we had mashed potatoes, we had asparagus, we had gravy, we had sweet corn on a cob, and a glass of wine. You know, Rika made all that. But what is so interesting, actually, was that when Rika finished, it's so interesting you said this, Rika, you know, when she finished, I went to the kitchen and the kitchen was clear and the kitchen was clean. And I'm like, whoa, my daughter cleaned while she was cooking. So it's amazing. You do listen, don't you? You do listen.
Yeah. And if I'm honest, it's made life much more easier for me because like I don't even think about it anymore. It's like I use it and then I wash it immediately and like I get it out of the way and everything's sorted. So my work environment is always clean, you know. Yeah.
And you know, funny enough, and this is where we say everything affects everything else. You know where I learned that, Mr. Clay? I learned that working at Burger King.
Wow.
At Burger King, when they're making the burgers, they train you to clean as you keep, so your workstation is always clean as you're making the burgers. Because imagine if you don't clean, then everything will be messy everywhere. So it's,
and the taste of one burger, the taste of one burger is gonna be on the next burger.
Imagine. So it was the training I got from Burger King. I realized it was useful. I spotted that it was a good habit. Then I brought it home, you know, and see, my daughter is benefiting from it now. Okay, so we're talking about rewarding yourself. You see, one of the things that we have to understand, like I said at the beginning, is that we have a relationship with ourselves. And see, believe it or not, you may trust yourself, and you may distrust yourself. You may believe yourself. You may believe in yourself, and you may not believe in yourself. You see, I went through this journey because personal development, it gets to a point where you have to be speaking to yourself positive stuff. And then you look at yourself in your mirror and you say, I'm a winner. Try it. The moment you say, I'm a winner to yourself in the mirror, your mind will tell you something else. Your mind will agree or disagree. Mr. Claire is smiling because at the beginning, when I started this, I would say I'm a winner. My mind will say, you're not a winner, mate. And then I'm looking at myself and I'm a winner. And after a while, I was weird because my mind would tell me something else from what I was professing. But the books told me, reinforce your positive statement, reinforce it with action. Over the years, ladies and gentlemen, let me cut the long story short. One day, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I'm a winner. And my man came back and said, yes, you are a winner. I was like, whoa! And that was the day I realized that we actually have a relationship with our own self.
Mm-hmm.
Does your mind believe you? Because when we take it to the next level, be very careful what you promise yourself. Like Mr. Kene said, be very careful and very meticulous to gauge what you're rewarding yourself to the task. Make sure you don't say, you don't overdo it and get yourself out of whack, because again, if you do that, you will not deliver on what you've promised yourself. And then guess what? You add to the disbelief of even yourself. But now that I know that, oh, if I do this work, ice cream, my body's actually looking forward to it and saying, yeah, okay, when we finish that, we'll get the ice cream. Yes, we know we'll get the ice cream because we never let ourselves down. You get what I'm saying? So as it happens to you, so it happens to other people that you interact with. But again, guess what? You have a relationship with yourself. So that is another journey of, like, I've had to do over the years to have a track record even with myself, to believe even myself. Mr. Kelly, what do you think?
Most definitely, because you talking to yourself, you can't lie to yourself. You know yourself. You know all the shortcuts you've been taking. You know what you haven't been doing. You know what you should have done and you haven't done. You know you haven't been cleaning up after yourself when you've been cooking. You know, so you know all these little things, and they do pile up in your mind, in your subconscious. So when you look in yourself in the mirror and say, "I'm a winner," you know, you need your mind to come back and say, "Yes, you are," because you did this, you did that, you done that, you did this, you've got a track record of doing that, and that conversation is very important. Because if you look in yourself in the mirror right now and your mind is telling you something else, it shows that you need to roll up your sleeves and get to work.
Mm-hmm.
Because you speak to yourself more than anybody speaks to you. So your internal dialogue is when compared to other people talking to you from the outside, is nowhere compared. So your internal dialogue needs to be one that talks where you want to go. You know, you need to be uplifting, you need to be courageous, you have your integrity up, you know, because you are constantly talking to yourself. Your mind, rarely is your mind ever blank unless you're meditating, you know, and you deliberately make it blank. So it's important that internal dialogue is part of your journey, getting you to where you want to get to. And the way you get that internal dialogue doing is you have a list of tasks you want to hit, you know, and you're rewarding yourself as you're hitting each one. And then you can then look back and say, oh, I did this, I did that, I did that. Okay, I can now go and enjoy myself, you know? And, you know, and it doesn't have to be a destructive kind of reward either. It could be a reward that, you know, a friend of mine told me many years ago that after each month of work, reward yourself. You know, pay yourself first and reward yourself. These are very, very key things and habits I get up to. So before the month end comes, for the paycheck comes, I'm thinking, what am I going to reward myself with this month? You know? And, you know, and it doesn't have to be something big or many things, just one thing, you know, and the minute you do that and Amazon drops it off and you look at it, you go, nice. That's my reward for last month's work, you know? you know, and that's why people were amazed that, oh, how come this guy doesn't call up sick? How come this guy doesn't, you know, run away from work? How come this guy is always jumping in and getting his things done? You know, and is getting promoted, getting rewarded, you know. And people tell me that, you know, you work too much, you know, you're working too hard. But that's because they don't know what I'm looking forward to rewarding myself with at the end of the month. So, you know, setting goals, reward yourself, you know, is a beautiful relationship you can have. This is when you play this game with yourself. Quietly, don't tell anyone about it, just between you and you.
I like that. Just between you and you. I love it. Love it. Well, Rike, over to you.
Oh, positive reinforcement is needed for sure, because without positive enforcement, we won't get anything done. Like Uncle A is talking about, the positive reinforcement we receive every month is our paycheck at the end of the month, which we can use to buy all the goodies that we like and everything that we want, which is why we go back to work the next month. So, you know, small things like that, just positive reinforcement, even with yourself, and, you know, just having a positive outlook on your mindset. Of course, you know, negative thoughts always creep in, and, you know, different things like laziness, procrastination, all of these things, they all creep in. But once you feel them coming on, for me, for example, if I feel like a negative thought coming on, or I'm in the middle of something and I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do that, I quickly, you know, snap at myself. I'm like, hey, hold on. You got to change that thought. You got to change it very quickly, because you can't let it stick. You can't. Or then that attracts more. And do you know, there's something very interesting about the brain. Once you start thinking of one thing, the body, it craves that emotion that you receive once you think of something. So for example, if you think of something positive, you're like, oh yes, I feel very good. Your brain will keep on giving you different influences, which will allow that emotion or that feeling to multiply more and more and more, which happens with both, with any emotion, in fact. So if it's negative, you're going to be feeding yourself with more and more and more negative influences. So instead of, you know, doing that, you can trick your mind, like Uncle A and Dad has just said, into the positive reinforcements. If I do this for myself, I'm going to repay myself with this. And that allows you to keep on carrying out that same habit and enforcing that more and more in your life, which in turn then colors your life, because then you're feeling more happy, you're treating people with more kindness and love and appreciation, and in return, the same comes back to you. So, you know, it's a roundabout circle. Everything affects one another. Back to you.
It's a positive feedback loop.
Yes, that's the
positive feedback loop. And you know, it's a look, one of the things that you have to do, just try this. Get a sheet of paper and write your to-do list with the intention of, when you finish it, just tick it, done. Tick it, done. If that's all you start with, honestly, your life will start changing. Because now you have things that you've written down to do, and you're ticking it. It could be, I'm going to start with clean my room. Clean my room. Wash my shirt. Wash my shirt. Clean the kitchen. Clean the kitchen. Polish my shoe. Polish my shoe. Do you know that when you start ticking those things as done, 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 that will change to send out my CV to 50 people. It will change to speak to 20 businesses about an opportunity. It will change to speak to 50 people about an opportunity. And once you start ticking that, and you start rewarding yourself, and the reward could be, I will get a bottle of Coke when I wash my clothes. Anything simple like that. You know, I will get akara that mama That mama, because I used to live in Nigeria, there used to be some bad boy akara fryers. Akara. I don't know whether they still have them now. It could just be a portion of that. That's enough. And then guess what? You now have a culture of having this kind of relationship with yourself. And what's that kind of relationship? The relationship of achieving and having fun while achieving. What did I call it? A relationship of achieving and having fun while achieving, just with yourself. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We have literally lived this for years. And it's so interesting that I'm seeing it rub off on my daughter. I'm seeing it rub off on Rike. It's like, I definitely know that there's some books that Rike haven't read, but she's already displaying those things that those books taught us. So what we had to read in the books to teach us, she's already displaying it because she grew up around me. And what is around me? Around me is just trying to achieve these things. You know what I'm saying? Around me is just trying to write in my own to-do list, tick, tick, tick. And so everything affects everything else. Your children are watching you. It's scary. I didn't know my children are watching me.
What? Of course, we have nobody else in the world to look up to other than our parents.
So guess what? My children are watching me and taking notes. Did you do that? You did it. Okay. Did you do that? Oh,
It's true.
And guess where we're taking the notes? They're taking the notes in the worst, most powerful place, in their subconscious. So when Nigerian parents want to beat discipline into their children, they've got it all wrong. The real discipline you can't beat into your children. You have to model it.
Mm-hmm.
Be the person you want your child to be. Mr. Clay.
Like you say, you know, you're watching yourself. While you're watching yourself, the children are watching you. Watching yourself, making sure that you're not cutting any corners. And your children are watching you, you know. But you know, it's all a journey. And success is not a destination, people. It's all about enjoying your journey there, you know, because as we know, once you get there, once you get to the top of the mountain, you're looking for the next mountain, right? So it's about what the journey makes of you. That is your real true success. You know, it's how you've actually developed and what the skills that you now have for having put yourself through that journey. So it's always very good to not be too hard on yourself. I mean, if you fail, be ready for that as well. It's part of the journey, people. You know, I've fallen flat on my face many times. Sometimes we sound like Rika sounds so perfect. You know, she's wonderful. Mr. Phil, wow, he's just so, getting everything done, and the daughter and the children are just flying with him,
It's not even like that.
No, it's not like that.
And then you look yourself in the mirror, you're like, but it's all that is all part of the journey. It's all that part of the fun. It's knowing that, listen, you are the best there is to work with. This is all you have. You have you. So let's start building you up. Let's start enjoying being you, and then let's start not be too hard on yourself. If your goal is 10 press-ups a day, and you only did 2 today, well, you need to do more, so tomorrow, but you did 2. You did do 2. It's better than doing 0. So just have those kind of conversations with yourself and encourage yourself and know that, listen, it's not about today, It's about the long-term goal. You know, you don't want to be so discouraged, that you don't then want to do anything tomorrow. No. It's just okay. I did today. I'm just warming myself up, and now I got this. I've got it. No challenge is too big for you. So let me just encourage you with that. It's something that is a journey, and you work with yourself. Not be too hard, yourself. Be hard on yourself sometimes as well, because your limits. You know what you can do. And other times be like, okay, you know what? I'll get you next time round. But you're a work in progress. You're a masterpiece that is in progress. So enjoy the journey. Love yourself. Let yourself grow. And yeah, I'm loving it. Well, back to you guys.
Okay. Please, Rika, please.
Sorry, I just wanted to chime in and say that while Uncle was talking, it just reminded me when he said that obviously reward yourself and don't be too hard on yourself. It reminded me of when I was in school, and after doing maybe like a group project or something, they'll say, "Oh, everybody give yourselves a pat on the back," and we'd all go, "Ooh." And at the time, it was just fun and games, pat yourself on the back. And then as I grew older, I used to think, why am I patting myself on the back? Like, what's that gonna do? And I kind of let go of the tradition to celebrate even the small things. And like now it just dawned on me that, oh my God, they were telling us to celebrate ourselves and, pat ourselves on the back that, yes, we did well. Each individual person was giving themselves the positive reinforcement and affirmation that, yeah, you've done a good job. So well done to you. But yeah, it just made me think of that. And I encourage everybody to obviously repay themselves in any way that they feel, and just make sure that they stay positive. Yeah. Back to you.
I just wanted to say, just in case people will go, oh, Mr. Phil has a perfect family. His children are perfect. Rika is already laughing. You see, one of the things, and because it's out there, let me just, let it out. I've got 4 kids. Not everyone will respond to everything the same way. Rika happened to have responded to the journey the way she has. My first son, not so much. Does that mean that I don't love him? Of course I love him. He's one of the most talented, one of the most generous, one of the, and interestingly, I think I didn't know this, but it turned out that he went on the wrong side of the tracks without even me having a clue. Yes, I heard that he sold drugs. Sold drugs? Yeah. Rika is laughing, Mr. Claire is laughing. Let's be real. We said let's be authentic. He sold drugs. It's on Channel 4. Check, there's a series on Channel 4 called Banged Up. Banged Up Things Behind Bars. My son was featured on it. And that's when I realized, I found out he sold drugs. He moved to some people. Rika is dying over there, But there's a point I wanted to make, and the point is this. It was the environment, though, that make him stop himself. He stopped before I even heard about it. I heard about it when it was like he had stopped that, he had left that life behind 2 years ago. Then I'm hearing about it, and I'm like, I'm now having heart attacks after the fact. You did that? You did that? Like, sorry, mate. That boat has sailed a long time. You know what I'm saying? So I said that to say this, that we have our own struggles too. We're not gonna hide it, and we're gonna look like we're perfect, you know. And this journey, everyone takes it their own way. Rika is dying. I can't believe that told the world. Put the camera on Rika, please.
I'm sorry. Oh, tears. Oh my God, that is so funny. Do you know what? It just came as a shock. It's all the truth. We're not perfect. And that's just an example, but I just got caught off guard. That was just hilarious to me.
It's just like, you know, all right. How can we put this? It's just like saying to people that, you know, we go to the toilet too, and you go to the toilet? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line is that be for real, be authentic. I said that I've got 4 children, and they're all talented. Even Korede that I'm talking about, he is an amazing individual, you know. However, he's not gonna be, I realize he's not gonna be a clone of Mr. Phil. He's come on his own journey. He's making his own decisions, and he's taking his own responsibility. And that's what I tell him. You're taking your own responsibility, and because of that, I've got to, you know, respect his own journey. All right. So I just said that because, you know, some people will say, "Oh, Mr. Phil, perfect life, nothing ever goes wrong, everything is perfect." No, I'm a human being. Things do go wrong, even when I didn't know they were going wrong. Mr. Clay.
No, it's all about being able to laugh at your imperfections as well as yourself. That's something you gotta have a belly laugh at yourself. You know, when it all goes wrong, laugh. You know, have a belly laugh at it. Laugh even at it going wrong, which is what is the beauty. That's a beautiful thing, because it's not about, because that is even also part of the journey. Being able to laugh at your circumstance, laugh at your failings, laugh at your journey, find out, okay, there you go, there we are. You know, because it is a journey. There is nobody you're in competition with but yourself. You know, so, and the more you develop, the more you reflect your newer versions, because the you that we're talking to today is not going to be the you, hopefully, that we'll be talking to next year or the year after, because you're growing. So let me encourage you with that, and reward yourself. Set yourself goals, reward yourself as you hit them, and enjoy the journey. Enjoy it. Enjoy. Life is there to be enjoyed. The cup is half full.
The cup is half full, not half empty. And again, you know, I said the story to just show that, you know, we're not perfect, and we are working, and we're going on the journey with you too. And like Mr. Kinley said, if you go on this journey, you're not going to be the you that you are today 1 year, 5 years, 10 years from now. None of us are going to be. Okay. All we can encourage each other is to be on this journey together. We're inviting you on this journey, and we're giving you the tools to be on this journey. Then we can now look forward to that amazing Nigeria that we're talking about. Then we can now look forward to that amazing future for Africa we're looking for. Now we can now look forward to the amazing future for African and Black people all over the world, because this is the building blocks that leads to that. If this doesn't happen, unfortunately, that will not happen. Let me repeat that. If this doesn't happen, if the small things don't happen, the big things will not happen. Let me end by saying this. You know, there's some people that will say, "Oh, I'm stingy now. I won't give anybody money, but when I become a millionaire, I'm gonna give people money." No, if you don't do it while you're not while you are broke. You won't do it while you're rich. Because it's not the amount. It is the character. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. So whatever you don't do small, forget about doing it big. Start where you are. If you're going to be generous, start where you are. If you're going to be wealth and if you're going to be successful, start where you are. If you're going to be effective, start where you are. If you're going to change anything, start where you are. The principle is always where you are. Don't look anywhere else. Oh, look. No. It's where you are. Rika, talk us out.
Yes, I agree, definitely. You always got to start small. It's always baby steps. Like once you're born, you don't just start running straight away. You know, you fall down a couple times, and all through those fallings and everything and standing back up, you learn, and you learn different ways to navigate the world and everything. But like Uncle Leia said earlier, you got to laugh at yourself in the times when you may have failed. I'm putting failed in air quotations because what's failure? It's just a lesson learned, to be honest. So, you know, you got to laugh at the small things. You know, maybe you didn't succeed in this time, but you've learned another way on how to do it. I think it was Thomas Edison, I'm not sure, who failed 100 and something times before he made, was it the light bulb?
1,000 times.
1,000 times before he made the light bulb.
Yeah.
And what he said was, no, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned, I found out 1,000 different ways not to make it.
Yeah, make a filament lamp. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, it's all trial and error.
Yeah.
It's all trial and error. Nobody knows, you know, the blueprint of life because there's no such thing. Everybody goes through their own individual experiences, and from those we grow and we learn and we interact with other people. So yeah, don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourselves a pat on the back because you all deserve it. Honestly, you deserve everything that comes to you in life. And yeah, peace and love always. Back to you.
I was gonna say something, then I forgot about it. But okay, let me just tag along what you said there about, you know, that one's gone as well.
It doesn't happen.
A video about it. So just to say, listen to what we've shared. Those are just tips that we use to help ourselves on this journey. Okay, we are not saying that we're perfect or we're experts. We're just saying that we're on this journey with you too. Okay. On that note, speak to you later. This is Two Brothers Channel signing off. God bless.
Bye.
Next time. Bye, everybody. See you.